You've heard that marketing emails can make you that cold hard cash, and I'm going to show you how to create an email campaign that can do exactly that. First, I'll share how to plan a successful campaign so you can make the most you possibly can. Then I'll tell you the secret between a flopped launch and a six-figure campaign, even if you have a small list. Next, I'll show you how to use AI to plan that campaign. And finally, I'll show you the 5-step process to use AI to actually write that campaign. Okay, first things first, to make sure we're on the same page here, what is a campaign? If you're using a tool like ActiveCampaign, it's a single email that goes out. Other email service providers like Kartra, ConvertKit, most of the rest of them call those a broadcast. That single email that goes out, usually it's referred to as a broadcast. What's the difference between a flop campaign and a campaign that brings in 6 figures? List size does make a difference, but I can tell you even with a list size of less than 6,000 people, I was able to bring in a 6-figure launch. So your list size doesn't have to be super incredibly massive in order for you to do well. What matters the most is how engaged your list is and what kind of pre-launch content you're putting out. Now, this is something that a lot of times people will miss or forget about or just not do because they run out of time, and it's that pre-launch piece. The pre-launch is the emails, the content, the social that's going out before you launch. It's the thing that's getting people excited. It's what's wetting their whistle. It's why when you go to a really nice restaurant, a lot of times they'll bring out appetizers to really get you excited about what's to come. It's the reason that movies have previews before they come out. The more hyped somebody is about what's coming next, the easier it is for them to say yes to buying it. Some things that you can do to get people excited. You can show behind the scenes. You can show them how it's helping you. You can make it not available yet. You can talk about it as in it's in the future and they can get on the wait list. Think about how Apple does their iPhones. When a new iPhone came out, you'd see people camped out on the side of the building, sometimes for days, because they wanted that iPhone so bad, because the anticipation was there. When you're thinking about your pre-launch, you want to be thinking about what problems your audience has that this is solving for them and what their life will look like once that problem is solved. So how will this have an impact? Now, if you don't believe that this is going to help them, then why should they believe it? So we really want to think about how is this actually going to impact them? For example, whenever I put out a video, even though it's super uncomfortable sometimes to make videos and put them out on YouTube, whenever I do something like this, I think, how is somebody from my audience going to have a better life because I decided to step out of my comfort zone? The more that I can think about that, of how is this actually impacting someone, helping someone, the easier it is for me to do the things that are uncomfortable or the things that take time, like pre-launch emails, for example, or pre-launch content. Because I know what's at stake here, it's easier for me to show up, it's easier for me to plan ahead, it's easier for me to do these things because I know that if I don't, not only does it impact my bottom line, but it impacts somebody else's ability to do things faster, easier, better. Now you may be thinking, all right, this all sounds great, Brittany, but I really don't have a lot of time. I have family to take care of, I have little kids at home, I have an aging parent that I'm taking care of, or just everyday life, and I don't want to do, I don't want to spend all day behind a computer screen. I totally get that. And so here's how you can use AI to help you plan your campaigns and get them out there much faster, get your pre-launch content done, and get people excited before it's even launched. First, we want to get more clear on who your audience is. So you're going to go to ChatGPT or Claude, and you're going to basically say, here's who I think my audience is. Here's what I know about them already. Here are the problems that I know that they have. Here's any patterns that I've seen from them. You're going to put all of that information in there. Once it has that information, then you're going to say, I want you to go ahead and create a bigger document, create an as in-depth as possible document on who my audience is. Think about it as a report. Think about it as you're doing like deep dive into who they are. We want to also ask it not just for the surface level stuff, but we want it to go deep into the psyche. So sometimes what I'll say is, I want you to get so clear on who my audience is that you know them better than they know themselves. When you think you've gone deep enough, go even deeper. And I will just brain dump anything that I have that I know about my audience, any patterns I see with my audience. And then once it creates that for me, I can go to the next step, which is giving it feedback. So yes, I think this is accurate. No, I don't think it is. One of the things that ChatGPT in Claude 2 will do a lot of times, it'll give me cliches. It'll say something like, oh, they're really overwhelmed, they're really exhausted. And while you may be saying, yes, I am overwhelmed, yes, I am exhausted, you've probably heard that about 1 million times from 1 million people. It doesn't stand out at all. It doesn't really show that I know you as my audience at all. It may give you examples like your audience really just wants to spend more time with their family or more time on the things that really matter. And so when it says something like that, I'll say, okay, nobody actually talks that way. Nobody says, oh, you know what I really want? I just want to spend more time on the things that matter. No, you'd be more specific about it. Like what actually matters to you, that's what you're going to be specific about. So for me, for example, I might say, I would really like like to spend more time sitting in the mountains, writing or sketching or doing something that doesn't require being behind a computer screen. And so that's way more specific than just spending time on the things that really matter. Spending time on the things that really matter is cliche, it's overused. And so that's what we're gonna tell ChatGPT. Don't use things that are cliche, that are overused. Be more specific for my audience. Once you have that, you also want to look at what has happened in past launches. So where do people buy the most? What email do they buy the most on? Is it a logical email, an emotional email? Is it the email that just talks about, hey, here's what's in the offer? I used to think that people would buy more on the emotional emails, but as I reviewed the data and as I had ChatGPT help me review the data, I realized that most of the time people bought the most on an X-ray email, which is basically if I had X-ray goggles and I could tell you everything that's in this offer, here's what it is. People buy a lot on that one because it's really clear what's included. They buy a lot on the FAQ email. And they buy a lot on that last email, the hey, this is your last chance email. So pretty much every campaign, I'm gonna have at least those 3 emails because I know those 3 emails work. I also want to look at the high and low days. So what are the days of the week where people are opening emails and clicking on emails the most from me, and what days are they opening and clicking the least from me? I want to spend more of my launch on the days where people are responding and clicking the most. Now, once we've had your audience, once we've figured out what days you're gonna send on, an idea of what you might wanna send, then we wanna start planning it. So now you're gonna go back to ChatGPT and you're gonna say, hey, I want you to help me plan this launch for this audience. Here's information about what it is I'm launching. Here's the sales copy. I want you to help me come up with a plan. What is it that I should talk about on each day of the pre-launch, and what should I talk about on each day of the launch? Use best practices for email marketing for launches. Once you know what you're going to talk about for each day, you're going to have it come up with an outline. Then you're going to record yourself basically brain dumping any of your thoughts on what it says in the outline. You'll use that transcript then to have it write the copy, write the emails, write the social posts, and then you can repurpose it also for any social posts as well. Now, if you're not a copywriter, I know that it might feel a little bit overwhelming looking at a launch and thinking, how am I going to do all of this? It still feels like a lot with AI. And that's why I created the free email campaign with AI checklist for you. This takes everything that I know about all of the successful launches that we had, all of the unsuccessful launches that we've had, so that you don't have to make the same mistakes that I did. This email campaign with AI checklist is going to tell you step by step what it is that you need to do with AI in order to create your launch campaign much faster, much easier, and honestly, much better too. Click the link that comes with this video. My name is Brittany Long. I'll see you in the next one.